and there's a tarantula. Do you see why I think you're dramatic? Ew.
Ooh, sorry, I just thought about it.
No, I was gonna burp. Feel it coming. Fuck, I'm okay.
You're like, move.
I got chills.
I know I'm not exaggerating. Go away.
Ramble.
Pretty basic.
This episode is presented by DoorDash. Use promo code PRETTY when you download the app for 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to Pretty Basic. I'm your co-host, Alisha Marie.
And I'm your co-host, Remy Ashton Cruz.
Miss Remy Ashton.
Miss Remy Ashton. Welcome back to the pod, guys. I've missed it. We record this every week, obviously. And I don't know. For some reason, this particular session, I was very excited to come back.
Can I say same? Because last night I was thinking, oh, what do I have tomorrow? Let me look at my calendar. And then I remembered, oh, we're recording Pretty Basic all day. And I got so excited.
Oh, I love it so much. We are also, you know what? I think a big reason as to why we're so excited is we are rejuvenated. We are relaxed. We are calm. Yes. Zen.
Why are we so zen?
We just got back from a trip to Arizona. We went to Tucson and we stayed at the Miraval Resort in Tucson. And in case you don't know what Miraval is, I think it's like one of the nicest wellness resorts in the country, I believe. But it's basically like a beautiful resort that you can go and take classes at, like spirituality classes, like meditation classes. There's a really nice spa. So you can just go there, veg out, relax, and enjoy yourself.
And we sure did enjoy ourselves.
We did.
I have to say, the day that we got there, they had this spaghetti squash. Y'all, I keep talking about
that.
I never thought to put pesto in my spaghetti squash.
Oh my God. Yeah, just treat it like a pasta.
It was so good.
You know what my favorite thing to do is? You take a spaghetti squash, you stab it. I'm a microwave girl with my spaghetti squash. Yeah. I've just never baked it because, like, why? So I just stab it around, throw it in the microwave, like 8 to 10 minutes, take it out, cut it in half laterally, spoon out the seeds, and then fork it up so it's like nice and noodle-like. Throw on some, whether like tomato sauce, meat sauce, little cheese, some fresh basil, bake it, and it's like an individual little like lasagna spaghetti squash thing.
I know I've told you this before, and I might have told the podcast a while ago, but one of the most embarrassing moments of my life ever was when I saw a recipe for spaghetti squash, and I was like, oh my God, this looks so good. Let's make it, Mom. And my mom's not much of a cook, so we go to, I think we were at Trader Joe's, and we go to look for the spaghetti squash. And I'm like, oh, why can't I find it anywhere? I've never heard of it. I can't find it. Y'all, we were in the pasta aisle.
Oh.
I thought it was like noodles. I had no idea. I felt so dumb because we finally asked someone. They're like, oh, I believe it's over here if we have any. And they bring us to the produce. And I'm like, oh, it's a squash.
Yes.
Spaghetti squash. I was hooked up on the spaghetti part.
It's just so interesting. I mean, like growing up, obviously, if you thought of pasta, you thought of spaghetti or fettuccine or bow ties. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy how much has changed over the years and what science, women in STEM, have been able to do. Like there's a spaghetti squash. I have a tree that creates 4 different peaches at one time.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like botany at its finest.
At its finest.
Oh, I will say, I've never felt so relaxed on a vacation since I started YouTube. I don't know what it was.
Really?
I don't know. Well, also, you want to check out my leg? Look at this.
Your bug bites?
Yeah, look at all just from that one night.
That was one night?
That was one night, you guys.
Remy.
I have delicious, sweet blood. And bugs love to bite me. So I have so many bug bites. That was like the worst part of the trip, obviously. But other than that, like, I mean, I've been doing YouTube for a decade, and ever since I started, every vacation I've gone on, whether like a family vacation, a friend vacation, a romantic vacation, I vlogged it because it's my job and I never take a day off. But for some reason, this trip I still vlogged, but it just felt so rejuvenating, and I haven't felt that much relaxation since I started YouTube. I don't know why.
You kept saying it, and I was like, no, I agree. But then you kept saying it even more, and I was like, okay, like, I definitely feel relaxed, but I feel like you had a whole different vibe.
You know what? I felt like I came back a different person, not in like an annoying way, just like with new perspectives. I feel like I really, really, really focused because we did a bunch of like meditations or like the crystal healing thing. We definitely tried a lot of new things we've never done before. And a lot of them were focused on like letting go of things that don't serve you, letting go of things things that don't serve you. And I feel like whenever I try to do that in my normal life, I get distracted, or I purposely distract myself. Like, I just don't want to think about that stuff. But when I was there, it's all I could focus on. And I was really trying to listen to the teachers and the instructors and hearing their perspectives. And a lot of it actually stuck with me. And I feel like maybe a mixture of like letting go of things and people that don't serve me anymore, mixed with like actually just being with my best friends and like at a nice resort and like going to the spa, like all those things in conjunction, I think just made me like relax physically and mentally, which I never relax my brain. So it was nice.
I think another reason why it was extra relaxing was because we didn't have +1s. So we were all in our own rooms. And I feel like knowing you guys were getting your like spa services or, you know, massages or something, I was like, well, I don't want to just sit in my room and do nothing. I guess I should also like go do stuff. Or I don't know. I feel like that made me push myself more versus like, I think if I had a friend with me, I definitely we would have just been like talking. I mean, I came to your room a few times, but like, I think that was something that was really interesting.
There were a couple times where I was going to invite you to come sleep in my bed. And I was like, you know what? No, we should separate. We should have our own time. And it was nice.
No, it was nice, except y'all. I truly, and I'm not exaggerating. And I know I'm not exaggerating. It used to be way, 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 way worse. Okay. I definitely have a mild case of arachnophobia. Okay.
Is it okay? Because I remember before we were even friends, there was a vlog of you when you went to Hawaii, and were there bed bugs?
No, it was a cockroach.
Oh, there was a cockroach in your bed, and I remember watching the vlogs. I didn't know you, but I watched. Ew. I had cockroaches at my Riverside house I opened my desk and they were in there and I was like, burn it.
If you didn't see my Instagram, I'm not a nature girly. Like, I'm not.
I don't love bugs, but I don't mind them. But that spider was really scary. But I remember watching the vlog where you were trying to make your thumbnail, but you had to find a PNG of like a cockroach to put on your thumbnail.
Intriguing.
Were you being dramatic or like
no?
So she called Mia and asked Mia to make the thumbnail for you because you couldn't look up the photos. I remember thinking like, this girl is drama to the max. Like drama.
So it used to be way, 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 way worse. Like, for instance, that was not exaggerated. I was like sobbing. I was like, I can't sleep. Like, I don't know. I like the hotel like went back and forth and they like didn't want to give us a refund. But I was like, y'all, I was brushing my teeth. Imagine this. You're brushing your teeth your first night in Hawaii, right? Brushing my teeth. And I feel something on my foot. And I'm like, And then I'm like, okay, whatever. Feel it again. And then I look down there. And in Hawaii, they're fucking massive. The biggest cockroach on my bare foot. And I freak out. I'm crying. I'm sobbing. I jump on the bed. The two girls who I were with were also that they didn't want to deal with it either. I feel like normally I'm in a group where someone can handle it. Usually it's Ashley. Like someone, like they don't like it, but they'll handle it, you know, or you or something. I was with two other girls who also couldn't handle it. So we were like, what the fuck did we do?
No, I wouldn't. Like, cockroaches I don't fuck with.
And it was massive. So that happened like years ago. Yeah. But I specifically have a fear with spiders, like specifically.
Okay.
I was like, where did this come from? And I knew it. I used to not always be that way. But I distinctly remember one time I was at my parents' house before I moved out, and I was also brushing my teeth. What the fuck is up with me brushing my teeth? I need to stop brushing my teeth. I'm brushing my teeth, and I bend over to spit into the sink, and up the drain crawls a spider. And it wasn't tiny, but it also wasn't fucking massive. But it was decent. It was like this big. And my face was so close to it, I scream bloody murder, and I like start crying. So I think that's one of the things that first kind of triggered it for me.
Okay.
Because ever since then, I remember any spider, I would be crying. Ashley reminded me the other day that she came into my room one time and I was sobbing and I was throwing a shoe at a spider.
How old were you?
I was probably like 19.
Oh. I know you're going to say like 7.
I was like, go away.
May I interject with my own personal spider stories? I think I was probably like 13 or so, and my dad took Shane and I to...
Sorry, I just thought about it.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
I think we were at, I don't know, maybe like a lake in Irvine. I don't know, some like lake. I just remember it being very dry, and we were there hanging out, and I went to go to the bathroom, and there was like a porta potty. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I am.
You might hate this story. And I remember going to the bathroom. Went to the bathroom. I went with Shane, and then he had to go to the bathroom. So I'm waiting outside, and I look down at my foot, and there's a tarantula. Do you see why I think you're dramatic?
No, I get it. I didn't think it's something specifically about tarantulas. I can't do it.
They're really harmless, I believe.
I know, but they're so ugly. I didn't think you were gonna say they're fucking ugly.
They're cute.
No, they're not.
They're cuter than other spiders.
If you ever have a pet, we will not be friends anymore.
So this is the difference between us. I went and I screamed and I kicked it. And I remember watching it go through the air, and then it landed, and I was like, wait, he was kind of cute. Stop. So I ran back to my dad and I was like, Dad, I found this spider. I want to take it home. And all we had was like a brown sack lunch bag. Stop. So we put it in the lunch bag. We cut it in the car. And then I had it, and it happened to be around Easter. So my aunt, who gets me an Easter basket every year, this year she's particularly got me this like bug critter little themed one. So it came with candy stuffed into this like little terrarium. It was like a little plastic like bottle, but it was large, and then at the top there was like a magnifying glass and had a green handle. So I put Harry in there I named him Harry. I put Harry in there for a while, and then eventually my mom was like, we're not keeping this spider anymore. So we let him go in our backyard, and like thinking about it now, I don't know why we let it go in our backyard, but that was my story. Chloe. Anyway, so you found a spider in Tucson. Okay. Okay, wait. Like this big, you're okay.
Yeah, like I don't like them, but I
like a house spider.
Oh, like an inch or so. I'm like, ooh, I don't like that.
Really?
I just don't like it. Like I'm like, ew, I don't like it. But before I would have like freaked out and had a meltdown about a little one. Now I'm like, okay, I can kill that. Like, ew, I still don't like it. Whatever. We had this like beautiful room, this like beautiful tub that looks out into this outdoor shower. It was so travel blogger 2016. I was like, oh my God, I'm finally like, I can live this out. I can live out the fantasy of being like a hot Instabaddie travel blogger. Like I'm in my bikini. And I've never been one who's like, oh my God, bikini and like the shower. Like I never felt that comfortable. And finally I was like, bitch, you're hot as fuck. You need to go out there and rock this shower. You need to be the Instabaddie you know you can be. So I'm like, okay, I actually brought like a phone tripod thing to this trip. So I was like, I might as well use it. Let's do it. I go out to the shower, and I'm wearing a bikini, and I like do one angle, and I was like, ooh, I don't like that angle. Then I do another angle, and I'm just sitting there maybe like 5 minutes, and then I'm like pretending to wash my hair, and I turn, and when I tell you I saw something move, I was like, huh. So instantly I'm like, Alicia's probably a little spider, little critter, it's fine. And keep in mind, there are critters everywhere. I look down, and when I tell you, it was the ugliest fucking thing I could see. Like, it was.
I thought it was gorgeous.
Shut the fuck up.
It was.
REMI cruise.
It was gorgeous, but it was big.
No,
it was pretty.
You text me. That was the ugliest, scariest
I did not
thing
say ugly. I would not say ugly. I said that was big. I would not say ugly.
It was.
Mr. Spider, I would never.
I don't even know what kind of spider it was, but it was so big and so ugly, and I posted it on my Instagram, and I was freaking out, and I was like, I know I have to get a video of it, because if not, people are gonna fucking come for me and be like, yeah, I'm very acting drama queen. Yeah. So I finally filmed it, whatever. Then I'll stop talking about spiders in 2 seconds. I freak out. I didn't cry. Thank God for my Zoloft. I think that's what's changed. Then Erica Titus is there. We're all at dinner, and she's like, oh my God, I found a tarantula on my fucking window. Shows the dinner table the photo of it. I see it, trying not to see it. I scream, I run. I literally was like, I'm not okay. So there is something specifically about it. I don't like it. I think they're the devil's spawn, and they shouldn't be here on this world.
Oh, I think I found the one that was in your thing, in your shower. It's just called a yellow I was trying to calm you down. I was like, it's such a cute name.
What is it called?
Yellow garden. That's so beautiful.
The last thing I'm going to say that also triggered it for me was one time I went on YouTubers React. Did I tell you this story?
Oh, no.
Oh my God. You need to watch this. We have to put the clip in the YouTube of this. They've essentially filmed the Reddit 50-50 challenge, where it gives you 2 options. You have to guess which one's going to pop up. Depending which one you choose, it's either the one you're choosing or it's the opposite one.
Is it like the TikTok trend where they're like the balls and they squish it and you have to guess like blue or green beforehand?
Yes, kind of. But you know for a fact it's going to be one of those 2. I had a skip and I should have fucking done it, but I was like, content, baby, content. I was like, this is going to be like, it'll be good, it'll be funny. And it said giant clock spider.
Oh, I want to look it up.
When I tell you, I actually screamed bloody murder, and I had nightmares about this. Actual nightmares.
Whoa. That's some Australia shit.
Yes, I don't think I'm sorry. I don't think I can ever go to Australia. I know I have a big demo there. I don't know if I can. Wow. That's terrifying.
How do you feel about crabs?
I don't mind them as much.
Do they still make you scared?
Like in person, I'd be like, but like not like a spider. I don't know what it is.
You should not look at those giant Japanese spider crabs. Those ones are crazy.
Sorry, we talked about spiders for like 20 minutes.
No,
I hate this.
I think it's interesting. I now know your big. Would you say that's your biggest fear?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
Mine's heights. I don't do heights.
See, to me, heights don't bother me.
I like the same way that you scream. That's how I scream. Yeah. Like I was touring apartments with Ollie yesterday, and I was walking by the window, and I got heebie-jeebies. I don't know how I lived in a high-rise. Well, I didn't go like more than 5 feet away from the window ever, but it was a beautiful view. But glad to know. As we all know, I love cooking, but honestly, after a day full of cooking content, the last thing I want to do is make food for myself. So I love sitting my butt on the couch, turning on some TV, and ordering some of my favorite restaurants straight to my door.
See, unfortunately, I don't have the excuse of saying that I am a chef and cook all day. And, you know, that's why I order food at night. I am lazy.
It's okay.
You know?
That's okay.
You know, and no matter what I'm feeling, if I'm wanting something super healthy, a smoothie in the morning, for instance, or if I'm ready to have like pizza, pasta for dinner. The other night, I did, in fact, DoorDash ramen from my favorite ramen place.
You love ramen.
Mm-hmm.
What I love is you can get any of your favorite, like the local chains or like a small business restaurant by you, whatever it is that you're craving. You can also even get household essentials. So if you're like low on toilet paper or paper towel or soap or something like that, it can show up to your door in under an hour.
With over 300,000 partners, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory.
With DoorDash, you're not only getting the things that you love, but supporting the community that you love too. From the stores and restaurants to the Dashers driving around, each purchase provides a new opportunity for everyone involved, because with DoorDash, there is a neighborhood of good in every order.
For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code PRETTY.
That's 25% off, up to a $10 value, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code PRETTY. Don't forget, that's code PRETTY for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply.
Anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about the VMAs.
Arachnophobes, unmute.
Unmute. You can listen now.
Do you have trypophobia at all? I think you do a little bit,
A little bit, but not that much. Do you know where that comes from?
No.
So I heard that phobia of like the small holes is actually like kind of ingrained in us as humans, because most poisonous things have that type of design.
Very interesting.
So it's natural for us. Some people have it more than others, but like instinctively we don't like it. So like most frogs that are poisonous have those types of designs.
Yes,
most
a
like,
red dart frog.
Yes. Like, so instinctively, even other animals, you just know, oh, I don't want to mess with that. So when you see that, like,
the holy
thing, it makes you like, ew.
That's so interesting. I mean, like, I don't think I have it, but I like don't like looking at them either.
But
like, I'm not like
it.
Yeah. Bring it on. And like phobias are genetic, right? Or they're just like, you're just born with them. I think I heard that about heights. Like, you're just like how what is it called? Not cauliflower. Cilantro tastes like soap to me.
Yeah.
Some people are like, grow up. It tastes good. I'm like, no, I just like don't like. I will eat it. I just don't like the taste. So interesting, right?
I feel bad though. I'm like, you're missing out on one of the best tastes in the world.
I mean,
but you don't know.
I don't like it. It just tastes like soap.
But like to me, it doesn't. To me, it's like the finishing touch on every Mexican meal.
Yeah. I'm a no cilantro kind of girl.
I love me some cilantro.
Anyways, yes, back to the VMAs, which just happened, which were kind of crazy, honestly. I sat down to watch them. Actually, I love an award show, and specifically the VMAs is my favorite one because they have the best like presenters, best artists, and then also the best performances, most of all.
I feel like the best performances, because it's the Video Music Awards, like the people performing usually have like a dope music video, or like I've always looked forward to the music ones too.
I feel like it's less focused on like Video Music Awards now, though, don't you think? So I was watching and I was like, oh, this isn't very like music video focused, but like it's music focused.
Yeah.
I also sat down with Cal, who has never watched them before, and when it started, who opened? Oh, the Jack Harlow and Fergie collab thing. He was watching and he was like, whoa, this is like a really good award show. Like he had no idea. Their budget must be massive.
Oh my God, yeah. The stage was really dope.
The crazy like Lizzo performance with like the screen behind her.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, it was really sick. You should watch that. And then obviously the big talk was Taylor Swift announcing that she has a new album coming.
Oh my God. And after the Britney Broski episode, I realized that I am in fact a Swiftie. And my problem is with fangirl stuff is I always feel like I'm not enough to be included. Like I don't want to be like a fake bandwagon believer, or I don't want to be a fake bandwagon. Like I'm like, oh, I wasn't obsessed with One Direction like you were, so I'm not going to put me in that category. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And then after you guys were talking about like fangirling and all that stuff, I was like, Alisha, don't be boring. I'm like, I know you like and then it hit me. I was like, I am a Swiftie. I may not be a diehard. However, I am a Swiftie.
I think that you are a healthy level of fangirl, though. Like, I really do. Like, sometimes fangirls get a little too crazy.
Although I will say I was texting Whit because I'm like, she's announcing music tonight. I just know it. I was like, I just know it. I was like, it's going to be the Reputation, Taylor's version. Her dress is way too similar to the Look What You Made Me Do. Then I go online and I see everyone talking about it. I was like, I just know she's announcing it, if not so fucking soon. Then she did a plot twist and is like, just kidding, new album. And
Thank God.
And some people said that what she posted, the album artwork, they're like, that's actually going to be the back.
Oh, cool.
Of it, because it has the tracks names
side
on
A,
or
side B.
what will have it. And everyone's like, this feels like 1989 2.0, this is the vibe I'm getting. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait. Also, on Dumois, I think, they said that she's planning a 2023 stadium tour. So I was like, oh my God. And then it hit me. I was like, we saw the Reputation tour in LA. And then when we flew to New Zealand, thank God I didn't see spiders there. When we flew to New Zealand, we also saw the end of her whole like world tour leg, basically. Like, and
I think we saw it 3 times, right? Didn't we see it twice in LA?
No, we saw Ariana 3 times.
Oh, yes. That's right.
But we saw Taylor Swift twice, and I was just like, damn, I love her.
The conceptualized idea for the album is really cool. It's called Midnights, and apparently it's supposed to be, is it 13 tracks? 13 tracks all throughout her entire career of like, you know, when you're up at night and you can't sleep and you have like something running through your brain or through your mind that you can't get out. And I think it's going to be so interesting to see. And the Swifties are also like the craziest fandom ever. So they're going to be able to piece it all together, obviously.
Oh my
you
God.
included.
Also, it had been 13 years since the Kanye drama.
Yes.
She was wearing a very similar dress to Look What You Made Me Do, as well as the 2009 VMAs.
Yes.
Then she happens to announce that the album comes out on Kim Kardashian's birthday. Like, no matter what side you're on with all that drama and shit, you cannot admit that that is like so fucking like boom.
I don't think the Kim thing was on purpose. I feel like that just happened to happen.
Oh, no.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope not, because I hope she's not being as petty anymore. Like, we all just need to like move on from it.
No.
I think the significance of doing it at the VMAs 13 years later is so her. Like, 13's her number.
But like, imagine if we got into a huge blow up in a fight and I threw a huge fucking event like on your birthday. You'd be like, there's no fucking way you didn't know.
Yeah, that's
you know
planned.
What I mean?
That's planned. I just can't imagine she'd do that on purpose.
Oh, she did it on purpose. Like, my guess is they came out with the date and they're like, oh yeah, this could be really cool. This makes sense. And then they were like, holy shit, that's Kim's birthday.
I don't think it was intentionally planned. I think it was
I think it was intentionally,
shoot.
We're going to leave it and we're going to let it be what it is because fuck you.
She's a petty queen.
I kind of love it.
I think what it is that it drops on October 21st, which 10 plus 2 plus 1 is 13. It also could have just been a perk for her.
I think it was that's the cherry on top.
I think for her, yes, I think it was a cherry on top. I don't want to believe that she did it on purpose, because then I think we're just like dragging up old shit. Like, let's move on. She said she does not want to be included in the narrative, so move on.
I don't know, man. Respect, dude. I would do that.
You would throw it on my birthday?
No, but if it happened to land on it, I'd be like,
if it's that, that's fine.
I'd be like, This date feels familiar.
I do understand. I get it.
Also, I saw a rumor on TikTok because her after party dress was blue and it had stars on it, but there were 16 stars. And the girl goes into this whole theory that I was like, how the fuck did you come up with this? That the first single is going to drop on September 16th.
Oh.
So we'll see. Sometimes I love testing. I'm like, is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Just to see like how spot on they are.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, I can't imagine being Taylor and then seeing people go with these whole analogies, like theories. And she's like, that's not even.
That's got to be kind of fun for her to just like sit back and laugh.
Like, oh, yeah.
Like sometimes we get crazy shit. They're like, oh, this is happening, or they did this and that. And you're just like, oh my God. I didn't even think of that.
I did tweet. I was like, yo, I might fuck around and get in a relationship just to get broken up with right before this album comes out. Because if I
imagine it's Lover. It's like Lover 2.0.
It's like Lover.
It's like our song, like a little fearless moment.
And I'm sitting there with my heart broken, eating chocolate, like fuck my life.
That'd be
me
so
on October 20th at midnight, sitting there like with all my chocolate and like I'm ready. Oh, that would be so funny.
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be karma.
Mm-hmm. That'd also be content, baby content.
Content, baby content.
Speaking of content, baby content, we did also see Young Gravy and Sherry Nicole, aka Addison Rae's mom there. I don't know. I don't really care about them or the dad. Really don't care about the dad. I just care about Addison, and I hope that she's okay.
even the dad, like, fuck him.
The dad is insane.
I don't care what you've been through. And granted, I'm not married. I'm not in like that type of, I've never been divorced or something, but like to drag your kid's wife's name so horribly like that, like to the press, but then be like, I'm unbothered. I'm like, bitch, no, you're not. You're talking to the press about it.
I just hope that like Addison has a strong support system around her. I hope that she remembers that even if someone is your blood relative, your mom, your dad, you also are an adult and you have the choice and ability to separate yourself if you choose to do so. I hope that you're surrounded by love and support, though.
I know. I do like how all the comments are like, I hope Addison's okay.
I
love how people are caring that way. Also, speaking about parents and fucking shit, did you listen to the Britney Spears 22-minute YouTube video?
I didn't know.
Oh my God. What's crazy is she talks so openly for 22 minutes. She's like, there's a lot just like in my mind and I want to get off my chest. She says, I've been approached by so many different magazines, interviews, Oprah, whoever. They've offered me like millions and millions of dollars to do a sit down interview with them, but it's not even worth it to me. I don't even want to make money off of this. I want to say everything myself. Boom, 22 minutes of her talking about everything.
Wow.
Like, she goes into it. She's like, the conservatorship started this day, da-da-da-da. And she sounds so normal and coherent that, like, it sounds so weird. It was crazy. And hearing her be like, I don't know even to this day what I did wrong to get me into that place.
Aww.
And she was like, my mom, and granted, all of this is alleged, but, like, she was like, my mom was in on it. Like, the next thing I know, they purposely have me on a Gertie. And we leave my house and there's paparazzi everywhere. Like, my parents were in on it. They had the paparazzi come to the house. Like, and she was like, I don't know why, like why this is going on. She's like, then Vegas happened. And one time, like,
her residency?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was like, then Vegas happened and all of my dancers got to like go out and have fun. Like, I was being monitored for everything. I couldn't do anything. I had to ask permission just to watch TV. Like, shit like that. Like, insane shit. And the whole time she's like, why is no one stepping in? Like, why is no one, like, why? One time, I guess, at a dress rehearsal for the show, she said, I don't like that move. Can we change it? And everyone in the room stopped and just stared at her. Literally the next day, she announces that she can't go on tour because her dad's sick. She gets sent to a hospital. Like, literally the next day after. And she was like, all because I said I stood up and was getting more confident and said, I don't want to do that dance move. And then boom, that's when she like quit the Vegas residency. Like, all, and it is just so weird because I feel like for years we were wanting those answers. And in a 22-minute YouTube video that's just a blank screen, like it's all audio, it's her just talking. And it felt like a podcast and it was so heartbreaking and also so sad. It was so crazy. And even from her perspective, I get her being like, fuck the money. It's not worth, I'm not playing this game. And then it was deleted, but obviously there's videos now.
All these like crazy parents in the industry, like even like Lindsay Lohan's parents, Britney's parents, all these, like even when the TikTok stars started getting big and like parents were piggybacking, it gave me the wrong icky feeling. Yeah. I just, like these parents that live vicariously through their kids who obviously don't have their kids' best interest at heart.
Circling back to what you were saying, I truly do hope that, and this is in the industry all the time, which is really sad, but I hope even all the Nickelodeon with the
Jeanette McCurdy,
like all of this stuff. And I actually had a friend who was kind of in that Nickelodeon world and she was a child star and she's normal now. And I'm like, okay, what did you do? Like, what happened? How were you protected? Because she worked with Dan. And she literally was like, luckily, my mom was behind me like a foot the entire time. Yeah. She was like, that was before they had rules with like having to have a tutor on set, having to have like there were no child protection laws whatsoever. She was like, so luckily nothing ever happened to me because those people knew that they couldn't try anything with her because her mom was very hardcore watching. But she said a lot of the other kids didn't. It was like daycare. Like, the parents just dropped them off in the morning. They'd come back way later at night. Like, you know, like, it's so fucking sad. But I hope a lot of these kids know or do know that, like, yes, just because you are blood doesn't mean, like, yes, it makes it fucking harder to, like, have that distance. But just because someone's your mom or something, like, that doesn't mean, I'm going to say shit. Like, you know, Meghan Trainor's new song.
Yes.
That's essentially that, you know?
I think also she can remember that taking a break, like it's a relationship just like every other relationship, same relationship with your parents. Like sometimes you need to just take a break. Like I've had that happen to me before where I'm just like, okay, we are just not meeting eye to eye right now. I need to just step back for a little bit, growing, maturing, people change. I don't know. I feel really bad for her though. And I just hope she's okay. That's all I care about in this whole situation. I just feel like they are not being parents right now. And that like, social media aside, like it is very apparent they're not fulfilling their parental duties. They just don't care about her. They're not thinking about her like a parent would think, like, how is this going to affect my child? How is this going to affect them in the long term? And they don't care about any of that right now. And so if they want to do that, obviously they can, but Addison needs to protect herself.
Yeah, I would fully agree with that.
And we love you, Addison. And please drop the music because I need it.
What was it?
My legs to die for, my neck. Or I got it bad. Like she would be. I want her to be a pop star so badly. Like she fucking crushed. Please give it to us. The choreography.
To die for.
Oh, yes. This boom boom is to die. Okay.
I don't know if you guys, saw on our socials, maybe the vlogs that went up, but we just came back from Tucson, Arizona, and we were living our full desert fantasy goddess life.
Absolutely. So relaxed, just so at ease. And I have to say a big part of that is because I packed everything that I needed, didn't forget a single thing, and I noticed everybody in our group brought away luggage. I felt so at ease, so relaxed, and a big part of that is because my luggage got there on time. I packed everything that I needed, and most of all, I brought my away luggage, which I love so much. I brought the medium one that I have because I have like the carry-on, which I love. I have the big one, which I love, but the medium was perfect because it was just a quick little weekend getaway, and I had everything that I needed in that perfect little suitcase.
And whether you're super organized like Remy, or you're like me and you literally packed within an hour before you left the morning of, Away Suitcase has you covered because they have the compression bag to help you fit so much more, and a hidden and removable laundry bag to separate your dirty clothes. That is something every single time I travel, I forget.
Also, there's 4 360-degree spinner wheels, which are fabulous. When you're pushing your overweight luggage, which I'm always pushing my overweight luggage through an airport, especially when there's carpet and you got to push, those 4 wheels come in handy. It makes it just an ease. It's like a little mini workout. It makes it so easy. If you're on like linoleum, girl, you are good to go.
Also, they have so much variety with the suitcases, so no matter what you're looking for, they have different materials from polycarbonate and aluminum. The colors, whatever colors you want, guys. Lavender, blue, pink, beige, black, whatever you want. So many different sizes, and the durability is amazing.
Away offers free shipping and returns on any non-personalized order within the contiguous US, Canada, and the UK. Plus, there's a 100-day free trial on everything Away makes.
Start your 100-day trial and shop the entire Away lineup of travel essentials, including their best-selling suitcases and bags at awaytravel.com/basic. That's awaytravel.com/basic.
So that was a little recap of everything going on. Something that happened to me recently, though, that I thought would be a perfect chat to have on the podcast was I got a DM from someone that I haven't thought about or talked to really in almost a decade, because my 10-year high school reunion is happening. It should be occurring next year. I don't know if it's coming. Alisha will be joining me because she missed out on hers, and it's going to be fantastic.
And here's the thing. It's not that I was like dying to go. Like part of me was like, oh, I probably won't go, but it just never happened. Yeah. And I'm assuming it's just because of COVID and stuff, but it never was postponed. Like never heard anything. Maybe it happened and just no one invited me.
Maybe you just didn't check Facebook. Maybe
I just didn't check Facebook. In my head, I was like, someone would have texted me. Like someone would have.
That's true.
But I was like, damn, like, okay. So then Remy told me she's having hers next year most likely, and I was like,
she's coming.
Can I come?
It'll be so fun.
Actually, you invited me. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm coming.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a great time. We'll just get drunk and have a great time.
Did you see, there was this show, I think, I don't know what it was on, but it was basically around high school reunions, and this show took this guy who like didn't want to go back to his 10-year high school reunion, so he hired an actor to be him. And this guy was definitely like not really popular. Like he said he kind of got bullied a little bit, like not the most conventionally attractive man. So he hired this like hot model essentially to be him, and they like they made the guy, they like make the model over, they make them look similar, like disguise him, and he's like prepping him like, hey, this is this person, say this to this person, they'll know it to me if you say XYZ whatever. Wow. And then these cameras go in and say they're filming the reunion for some type of whatever. They're really filming it for this reason. And essentially there's this one girl who was his good friend who's like, oh, she's not coming to the reunion. She would be the only person who would know for a fact that like this isn't me.
Yeah.
Of course, drama. The girl ends up coming, and she goes up to the guy, and he's like, oh, hey, I'm so, and she's like, no, you're not. Like, this is not him. Like, whatever. And all the other people kept being like, holy shit, Dave, like, that's you? Like, oh my God, dude, I didn't even recognize you. And he was like, yeah, man, blah, 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 blah. Like, whatever. Like, it was actually I think it was a 30-part series on TikTok that I watched.
Wow.
And it was just so interesting. I was like, oh my God. But like, also like, that's so sad.
While you were telling that story, I was listening, but also thinking about how we're going to roll up to mine as Romy and Michelle.
Obviously.
And we're business women.
We invented Post-its.
And our blazers. One of my friends I was talking to who should have had her high school reunion last year, she went on to Facebook and was like, is anything happening? And like the person who should have coordinated it just posted like, we have social media now, no need for this. Like, because you really can check up on Instagram, Facebook.
If anyone from my high school is watching this or listening, why the fuck? You know, like.
Well, yours would have been like during peak COVID, so like that's why they didn't do it.
They didn't even say anything.
Oh, I mean, I think it was just implied.
Here's the thing again. I may not go. I just want the option.
You want the option. It's
just
nice to be invited.
It's nice to be invited sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Okay, so with this tangent, I recently had one of my best friends from high school's birthdays. So I posted, a slew of photos. I love to go to Facebook, the yearly time I go on Facebook, and pull photos from high school or whenever we were together and just throw a little throwback just to like really show, the depths and the longevity of our friendship. And it's just a sweet little happy birthday. So I posted this and I got a message from a girl that I knew in high school. She and I were like buds. We had like a few classes together. She was always really nice to me, but she actually was best friends with my best friend. And they had a bit of not a drama, just like a bit of a falling out, just like, naturally we do sometimes. And so I went onto my Instagram and I had this message in my DM requests and I looked and they had replied to the photo of me and my current best friend from high school. And they said, hi, a little story. I have a vivid memory of seeing these photos in high school and feeling so sad that me and my friend now, we're growing apart. And now I see them and I had an overwhelming sense of happiness for you guys and your strong friendship. Aww. I got chills. I hope it lasts forever. Anyways, hope this wasn't oversharing. I was just recently reminded how interesting it is that you can leave a mark on someone even after a decade. Hope you're thriving and send you and blank my best wishes, which I just thought was so sweet. And I was like, that was so, like, you didn't need to send that, but just know how much it truly meant to me. And I sent it to my best friend and we were like, wow, like, that's incredible and so big of her to say. And again, she didn't need to. So it just got me thinking on like things that I've learned and things that I can learn from other people up till this point in my life. And I feel like this year, we've talked about this a lot, but I feel like this year specifically, you know what it is. This year has been a really hard year for me emotionally, but I truly do feel like I've grown so much just I've only been 27 for 6 months now, but I feel like I've grown more in 6 months than I have in like the past couple years. Oh my God. But I think it's also because, with lows, the only way you can go is up and you have to grow from that. But it just started getting me thinking about like things that I've learned up till now in my life, or especially just in the past, like very transformative 6 months. And a big thing that I took from that message and something that I'm trying to work on more is just like being okay with dropping your pride and dropping your ego sometimes, to whether it's go back and apologize for something even years later, or for her to message me saying that like, back then 10 years ago, I was really jealous of those photos, but now to see that you guys are still best friends 10 years later. Like I posted those because they were cute and they're fun and it's hilarious because we were so ugly. But to have someone have that reaction was like so incredible. And I appreciated her reaching out because again, it was completely unnecessary. Yeah. But I just thought about like things in ways that we've grown in the past 6 months or even 4 years we've done this podcast.
Oh my God. I had many thoughts on that. One, I did not realize that was such a hard year so far for you.
Yeah. I mean, I just think like a lot happened, honestly. Like I felt very like I kept getting knocked down, like with all the health stuff and just like house stuff and just like random things where like it's individually they're like, I'm going to get through this. But then when it was like one after the other and like not that, like without having any conclusion, like it just was like, oh my God.
I feel bad because I was checked out for so long this year.
No, it's fine. Honestly, and like I've grown so much from it. And luckily, like everything has turned out so well. That's what the celebrations thing. When we went to Miraval, one of the instructors kept looking at me and she's like, you have so much to celebrate. And I was like, I do. Like everything that was weighing down on me, I'm so grateful that it's turned out to be okay. Yeah. But I feel like I learned so much just in those few months of like unsureness. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about that today. And that was something that I feel like I really appreciated and something that I want to take and something I've been trying to learn more about.
I also, when you were telling that whole story, it made me realize, I was like, not that I've had the thought to do that and never followed through, but it made me want to do that more with people who maybe I haven't talked to in a long time or something. Like when you, even even friends currently, like if you have the thought, like tell them, you know what I mean? And like that literally meant so much to you. And again, she didn't have to.
For sure. I think even with like past friendships that I've had so many where we were just young and immature and didn't have the communication skills to talk it out. And now years later, you know, we can just be cordial. I've gotten messages, I've sent messages where I'm like, hey, you know, I'm really sorry that this happened. Growing up and like maturing now, I realize like I was in the wrong here, or I get messages like that. And it's not like we're going to be best friends again. It's just so nice to hear that like they're doing well. We've both matured. We understand like there was just miscommunication. We just weren't meant to be friends anymore.
I think that's something I've learned the past, we'll say 10 years, 5 years, however long, is like, and I know I've talked about this for sure on this podcast before, but there really is such a negative connotation when it comes to like losing friends. Like I wish I could tell myself 10 years ago, like people are going to be in your life at different times, at different things. And sometimes you're going to be there for people when they need you, and then things will like, it's not just like,
even like romantically.
Yes. Even romantically. Like, I think that's one reason why I can look back on past relationships and be like, oh, I'm so grateful for that time. Like I had to grow, and it was this person who helped me learn that. And instead of looking back being like, oh my God, like screw them, you know, it didn't work out. Like
I outgrew them. Like it's not always that.
Yeah.
We've talked about that on the podcast before, but I think like once you switch your perspective, because it's so easy to self-victimize yourself, especially when you're emotionally volatile, when you just broke up with a boyfriend or you're a family member, you're creating distance, or a friend, whatever it may be. It's so easy to play the victim card, and you can. I think sometimes it does help like soften the blow a little bit.
To me. Yeah, like, they hurt me.
But the only way you're gonna grow is really being introspective and asking yourself like, okay, what really happened? Because it takes two to tango. You were always at fault to some degree, maybe not 50%, but maybe 20, 30, 40, whatever it may be.
Also, it reminds me of Sims, like the game. If you're not getting closer to someone, you're drifting. You know what I mean?
I don't know what happens
in Charisma, you have to like make your sim talk to other people.
Wow.
And if not, they lose friends. And I wish people like, I don't know, like the idea of like, oh, they're my friend, and it's like you can only have so many friends, and then like, I don't know, for some reason it really breaks my heart when I see people struggle with friendships, because I think there's just so much pressure of like holding on so hard to how a friendship used to be. It like makes me so sad, because I'm like, it's fine if you guys are just at different points right now in life. Like, oh my God, even Mia and I, after we became friends again, I think she wished me like happy birthday or something, and she'd be fine if I said this, and I sent her a long message, and I was like, hey, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, also, I know our interests are so different now, and we don't have as much in common as we used to, but like, I would love to find that, whatever it is, if it's us going and bowling, or if it's us like finding another hobby that we used to, you know, because you know, she used to do YouTube a lot, and a lot of our friendship was revolved around like YouTube and editing and filming and stuff. And obviously for a while she kind of took a back burner to that. So I was like, hey, like I'm happy to find our new thing, like whatever that is. We don't have to sit and like try to force it to be what it was when we're just different now, you know?
And even if there isn't anything, you still have so much love for each other.
Exactly.
And that's the underlying reason why you guys are even friends in the first place.
And that's what I put at the end of my message. I was like, I still have so much love for you. And I was like, I know it's this. And she's like, oh my God, no, I've always appreciated how we can sit and do nothing. Like I'm happy to do that. It doesn't have to be like going out or like partying or like whatever, because she's never really been like that. I think what I learned from that friendship was that exact thing. Like, let people like grow, let people change. Don't keep people in a box of like, well, you're different now because things are, and it's like, no, maybe that's who they're meant to become, you know?
I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking more so in like romantic terms. So like a guy that I was seeing, it's so funny how when you're with them, you ignore every red flag, everything possible. You're like, I can't see green, green, green.
You're like, it's red, but it's kind of orange.
But
so
if you blink really
hard,
hard, it's green.
When you turn your head, it's like a bluish.
Yeah,
so that's green.
That's pretty much green. Red is complementary to green, so obviously they're the same. But when you break up, and this goes for friendships, this goes for relationships, when you break up, all you can focus on is bad, which is so funny.
Yes.
So I feel like the best, but which is human and natural, and again, it's a way to cope with things, but eventually you get to the point where you're just like, you first of all don't care, and second of all you're like, okay, I saw the good, I saw the bad, somewhere in the middle there was my reason for being there, whether that was like being there for them being there for me, and we can move on now.
Also, going real deep, a lot of that romantic or platonic comes from, you hurt me because you made me feel like XYZ. And I think a lot of that hurt one stems from like childhood shit. You know what I mean? Like your boyfriend breaks up with you.
Everything stems
Everything
from
does. If I've learned one thing in therapy, it's that everything stems from your childhood and how you were raised. Like if your boyfriend like breaks up and you feel abandoned, like usually there's a deeper root there. And then you look at your friend who gets broken up with and she's fine and she's out dating someone else and you're like, how did you get over that so quick? It's like there's always so much more to this story. And I think that's something else. Like there's so many layers, there's so many reasons. Like in therapy, like there's so many things that I like randomly will talk about from my childhood. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize how that affected me. Another thing that I think I've learned a lot in the past few years is opinions are simply opinions. Like just because someone says something doesn't make it truth. Just because I think something also doesn't mean that it's true. And if someone has an opinion of me, like it's merely an opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. Doesn't mean I have to give a fuck about it. Doesn't mean I shouldn't give a fuck about it.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
if someone says, ew, I hate your outfit, like it's up to me to give that power. Yeah. Like it's just an opinion. They're not God. So from someone who has cared a lot about what people think of them, I hate that it's taken me this long, and I still struggle with it. I'll probably always struggle with it to an extent, but I hate that it's taken me this long to realize like, oh, I simply just gave them that power.
Yeah.
It's just an opinion.
Yeah.
Just like when I think I'm right, it's also just an opinion. I can tell you everything I think you need to do. In the end, you know it better than me. Like my opinion can be like, hey, do you want to hear my opinion? And that is another thing I feel like with friendships. I've learned to offer my advice. Only if they want it, then I'll say it. And that's something else because I can talk a lot that I've realized like, oh, Alisha, like if they don't ask for your opinion, don't say it. Like, and there's times where I feel like I let people's opinions like go deeper than they should. So I've been working on that a lot, but I hate how it's taken me 29 years to learn that.
No, I mean, what you said is something that I need to work on so much. And I've also improved, but like looking at how you used to be and looking at you now, like it's worlds apart. Everything you said just resonated really hard with me though, because I often let so many, I mean, for the job that we do, we get so many unwarranted, unsolicited opinions about us and our lives. And I don't know why I let it sway me so much, but you're right. Hard. I don't need to let it have the power that I let it do.
Even there was that one episode recently, there was some hate about me. Rem was like, Alisha, are you okay? Like, I'm so sorry they're being mean to you. And I was like, it's okay. I was like, if I've learned anything, it really is. I used to make myself seem so perfectly PR with my older content, and I never would get hate because I never said anything worth meaning, dare I say. Like, I purposely was out of drama. I never wanted to say something problematic forever to bite me back.
Not even problematic, just like opinionated.
Yes. Like, I don't want to say I like blue because people who like pink will be offended. Like that was very much my approach to like PR, perfect Disney, like hee. And I was like, you know what? Like if I get more hate now, at least I know it's because I'm being more of myself. So after that episode came out, I was like, honestly, if anything, it makes me proud because I'm finally like using my voice more.
You're being your authentic
and
self.
I'm being more true to who I am.
For sure.
Now it still sucks when you're like, they took it wrong, but I knew how I meant it.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. No, that's huge, honestly. That's really, really huge.
What can we do?
I have another random little anecdote, another blast from the past. Cal and I went out on a date night the other night, and we went to Din Tai Fung, and we had dumplings, and then we got ice cream after. We're sitting there eating our ice cream, and side note, I feel as though we have leveled up. Remember before, we used to go into Brandy Melville, and that was like our peak demographic was in Brandy Melville.
Yeah.
Now, it's Aritzia. We have grown, everyone.
We've evolved, we've
matured to business casual women.
Also, Emma's collab with that's fucking iconic.
Every collab she does is so spot on. Whoever is her, yes, I was gonna say her team. Good job. But I will say, like, every time I go into Aritzia now, I meet like 7 subscribers, which is like so much fun. And so I had met a lot of subscribers that night because I obviously went shopping at Aritzia. And then while I was eating my ice cream, we were just like sitting outside on the bench at Century City, and I'm eating, and the hallways there are like the space is really large. So some girl started walking across the way. She was like 20 feet away. And so she's walking by. I'm obviously not paying attention because I'm eating my ice cream. And I hear this girl go, "Hey, Remy," like super casually. But sometimes like subscribers do that because like obviously we all feel like we know each other. And so I was fully expecting it to be a subscriber. And I was like, "Hey." But they're far. So they're coming closer and closer. And as I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, it's my twin from my sorority.
Oh my God.
Who I haven't seen since I dropped out of college in 2015.
Oh
so
my
it's been
God.
7 years. But it's so funny because she was like, "Hey, Remy," like so casual.
Hey, Rem.
Literally. And I was like looking. I'm like, oh my God. So I get up and I start talking to her, and I haven't seen her in 7 years.
Wow.
After I left college, honestly, I just didn't really talk to her that much. Not in a bad way. I just left college, and she went on to graduate and did her own thing. And so we were just like catching up a little bit, and it was just like, I got in the car after, and for like 30 minutes, I kept just like to Cal, I was just like, oh my God. Like I was freaked out. And
weird.
In a good way. It was just like such a crazy, like I've lived in LA now for 7 years. I've been doing like, I full on one influencer. I do all these things. I have a whole new group of friends, and not like I dropped anybody. I don't want anyone to think that either. It's just like we've all moved on in our lives, and I just never thought I would see her again, also so casually. And it was just like this like blast from the past moment where it took me right back to being in college, hanging out with her all the time, like being in our big room and just like all these things. It was like a crazy blast from the past moment, but it was so cool to see her. And it made me really think about how like you can, in life, like think about so many friends and people that have passed through our lives that we no longer see or talk to or think about. Really no drama there at all, but it's just like you think about like how grateful I'm so grateful for the friendship that she gave me at the time in college. Like she and my big like guided me through those first few months of college where I was so scared. I felt so alone. I was so grateful for them. Like they truly like saved me in those months. And it was just so like, I'm getting chills thinking about it. And like, I'm so grateful for them. And it was such a beautiful moment. So it's like looking back, even if you had a relationship breakup, a friendship breakup, or you just simply drift from someone, like think about like the beauty and the times and the things that you experiences you had together. And I think appreciate those. And I feel like that's a way better outlook on life.
That whole story just made me realize when I first did cheer in my first 2 years of college, that was the first time I really realized like, oh shit, I have social anxiety. Like I really struggle, you know, especially after high school when you've known each other for years and everything. And there were these two girls specifically who I remember I like became friends with on the cheer team. And it's so funny because at the time I was like, oh, I know we're not best friends. And I know just after cheer, like we probably won't talk much, but like, I don't even think they realize how much like that helped me and saved me so much of like, oh, they're here. Like I can talk to them. Like I just feel, you know what I mean? Especially on the anxiety side of like, oh my God. Okay. Like I'll, you know, buddy up. You're like,
for sure.
So little things like that. That made me, that's so interesting.
It's just like being appreciative for those people.
Yeah.
And like, even if you don't even physically reach out, just like in your mind being like, thank you for that.
Yeah. Like being grateful.
And I'm sure you've been that for other people too.
Another thing that I currently still want to work on more, but I do think I've gotten a lot better at it. And I think this is a life lesson that I will say even in 40 years. For whatever reason, I don't know if it was our parents' generation and being stuck in their ways, like having the freedom to realize that we can say, I've changed my mind. Everyone feels like they have to die on a hill or like go to their grave with like something that they said because like, oh, I can't take back what I said, or like, oh, I used to say like I hate this band and now I kind of like them, and now, like, why do we do that to ourselves? Like we need to say, oh wow, I was wrong, I actually changed my mind. Or even deeper things where you actually like said something and realize now looking back, you're like, oh, I was actually wrong then, and I take back what I said, or now I've learned something. And I think that's something, one, I just want to get better at.
It's an ego thing.
It is an ego thing.
And that goes with the first thing I was saying. Yes. Yeah, like trying to drop your ego. But it's hard. I'm an Aquarius sun with a Leo rising and Taurus moon. I never like to be wrong.
Yeah. No, you hate it.
I would rather die than be wrong. Yeah. But it is true. You have to learn to drop your ego and drop your pride.
And I think you learn so much when you can be like, oh, wow, yeah, I actually changed my mind. I don't think that anymore. Yeah. And I do think that is what's so hard about this day and age, because when you put one thing out on the internet, people hold you to it. And they're like, well, you said this 5 years ago. And you're like, I can change my mind. You know, that doesn't mean that's who I am now as a person, you know? And I think that's one thing that like, I just want to get better at, like the times that I am wrong, to like even let my friends and family know, because like, I think it's such a character building thing for your, like it's good for yourself.
Growth, for sure.
Like versus anyone else, like no matter how big or little the situation is, to be able to step back and be like, oh wow, I was wrong.
Taking accountability.
You know?
So random, but I was walking the other day, or literally yesterday, and this girl kept like, she was on her phone, so she kept like bobbing and weaving into me, and like I would keep like stopping to let her go, and then she would like stop on her phone. So I was just getting frustrated. I was like, this was getting into an elevator, getting out of the elevator, walking, like it was for a long time, and I kept getting so annoyed, but I would never be rude.
Move,
and then when she realized, she looked at me, she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've been completely in my own little bubble, in my zone. I'm so sorry. Please, ahead. And I was like, like just saying, like to me, I was like, oh my God, it's so fine.
Oh my God, no, keep going.
You go, please.
No,
but like taking accountability, and I was like, I was with Ollie. I was like, I've never had anyone say that to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sorry. I was in my bubble. I'm in my own my phone right now. I'm so sorry. Like, it just meant a lot. And it was so random, but I was like, that's
the little things.
I need to say that more often.
Again, she didn't have to say that, but she did. And it makes you want to say that stuff more for other people too.
Exactly. Something as small as standing in the way or as big as like changing your mind about something.
Yeah. Oh my God. T. Are we like a little introspective?
I'm trying.
We're trying.
I'm a real adult now. We're real adults now. So I gotta work on that. But I loved this, and I feel like there's so much more that we can talk about in another episode. So if you guys want to hear more, let us know.
Also, let us know things that you've learned. Like, sound off in the comments. I'm like, what's something you're learning currently, or you feel like you've learned that's like one of the biggest life lessons? Because I feel like I have so many more. This could be so part 2.
Me too. But thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to rate us in the what is it called?
5 stars.
5 stars. Rate us in the
Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast store, whatever it may be. Sorry guys. Rate us 5 stars, whatever it is, and make sure to check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.